Miami Heat get some bad news on a potential Kevin Durant trade. If you are a Heat fan that wanted the Heat to acquire KD this offseason, well, it became a lot more difficult because it sounds like there is another team out in the Western Conference that could have interest in Durant, and boy, can they top any package Miami could potentially offer the Phoenix Suns. This coming in from Charania. He was on the Pat McAfee show earlier this week and said that Kevin Durant and the Spurs held mutual interest in joining forces at the trade deadline last February. That came after the De'Aaron Fox trade, so it would have been Fox, KD, Wemby. Obviously, Wemby missed the end of the season due to the blood clots, but he also reported that the two sides could explore a joining of the forces once again this summer. And if that's actually the case, then it's going to be hard for me to find a reason why Kevin Durant isn't the third fiddle to De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama this upcoming season in the fall. But let me know your thoughts before we get more into this. Do you even want to trade for KD? Some of y'all might not even want to due to him being 37 years old this upcoming season, his $54 million contract, and the need for an extension. Do you even want to trade for KD? Type Y for yes or type N for no. There's no reason why the Heat fans should doubt Charania and his report about KD and the Spurs. But I will say this. If it is true about the two sides potentially looking to explore the option of joining forces this summer, the Heat are absolutely cooked. There is no possible way the Heat could top the package San Antonio could send to Phoenix for KD. And if Durant wants to go there, well, then the Heat have no hopes of trying to lure Durant to the 305. Like, you look at the Spurs tradable assets this offseason, you have a good, solid, young wing player in Devin Vassell, who's making $29 million per year. Keldon Johnson, a solid role-playing forward, making $17 million. Harrison Barnes on a one-year, $19 million expiring. The Rookie of the Year, Stephon Castle. Now, I still don't know if he's got superstar or all-star upside at this point, but he's a really solid young player nonetheless. And they also have 3 tradable first-round picks. They might have more, a little bit wonky with their picks they have at their disposal due to the 4 picks they traded for De'Aaron Fox at the deadline, but they at least have 2 tradable first-round picks in this year's draft, number 2 and number 14, plus 17 ridiculous second-round picks. The truth is this. When you think of the Spurs package for KD, they just have so many different combinations and so many young players, so many draft picks at their disposal to where if they were serious about pairing KD, Wemby, and De'Aaron Fox together in the Western Conference, they could top anything, whether it's a combination of Devin Vassell, Stephon Castle, and 1 first-round pick, whether it's Devin Vassell, salary like Keldon Johnson, Harrison Barnes, and multiple first-round picks. Like, they could just throw out the all-time trump card if they wanted to and say, yeah, we're just going to offer salary in the 2nd overall pick. Now, should San Antonio do that? No, because Dylan Harper would be a home run pick there, and I would rather have him than trade for KD at this point. But they could package 14 and some future first-round picks with a gazillion second-round picks to just get KD to Phoenix. Like, Miami, I think, has a relatively solid package for Kevin Durant, but it just sadly can't reach the heights that San Antonio could. And I've mentioned this throughout the entire offseason to this point when talking about KD. Miami has a solid package, but they cannot top the Spurs. They cannot top the Rockets. They could not top the Thunder if they wanted to create a crazy reunion. Like, they just can't top some of these Western Conference teams. And with where Miami is at in their current build, I don't think it's that smart of an idea to get into a bidding war over Kevin Durant. I love KD. I want to acquire him. But if it means shipping every pick you have, plus your young players like Kel'el Ware and Nikola Jovic, well, then I'm out. Because to me, I don't know if KD gets you to the finish line in terms of winning a finals, especially if you package all of your draft picks, making it useless for future moves and some of your younger players as well. Do not get into a bidding war for Kevin Durant. I'm begging you. We're going to continue to talk about KD here, but make sure you are subscribed because we have daily Miami Heat content for free. We have almost 22,500 people here at our Heat Report family. Let's continue to grow daily Heat content. Let's get 7 subscribers to get to 22.5K subs. Now, me saying I do not want to get into a bidding war for KD is not the same as me saying that he is not a good basketball player still, because this guy is still absolutely ridiculous at age 36, going to be 37 this upcoming year. He had arguably one of his most efficient offensive seasons in his entire NBA career this past season, and would have likely probably had a case for that third team All-NBA if he played just 3 more games and qualified for that award. You look at how he scores, and he dialed back his three-point shooting a couple years prior to this season, but then really went back to shooting from beyond the arc, and just, you see the green here, right? He shot 5% better than league average above the break from the three-point line while shooting a ridiculous 52.4% from the right corner, 48% from the left corner. He even got to the restricted area, not a lot, doesn't do it often, but when he gets there, 13% better than league average at that spot, an elite mid-range shooter, an elite paint scorer. This is just the point of this. Like, there's nothing that I'm telling you that you don't already know when it comes to Kevin Durant. The guy, despite being his age, is still an elite scorer. Whether he gets a post-up on a smaller defender, whether he is the handler in a pick and roll and just walks right into a mid-range, or gets a switch and then backs a guy down, catch and shoot. Like, he could score in so many different ways, and it would really help Miami a ton keeping him alongside Bam and Hero, because now you have Bam as that third option offensively, which is probably his right role. You get Hero as that second option offensively, which takes a lot of the pressure off of him in terms of the top point of attack defender on the opposing team, and it's not heavily reliant on him creating everything in the half court for Miami. So it makes a lot of sense basketball-wise to get Durant to the Miami Heat. But the truth is this. Should you package the entire house to acquire 37-year-old Kevin Durant? Because that is what might be required to top these packages that could be sent out by a Houston Rockets if they actually are interested, by a San Antonio Spurs. I think they could potentially top Minnesota, who is an interested team, but to top San Antonio, are they sending Ware, Jovic, all first-round picks and some salary like Andrew Wiggins and Terry Rozier? Like, I don't know if that is worth it, because you have to pay them $50+ million on an extension, and you have now a 2-year window where you don't have any future draft picks to trade to help upgrade the team around Hero, Bam, and KD. I don't know if that is the smartest decision for Miami. More to come here in a second, but I got to tell you about this Heat quarter zip. If you watched our watch parties this year, you would know I have this exact Heat quarter zip. Well, right now it is on sale for 50% off. Yes, usually $85. You can get it for $42 right now when you go to chatsports.com/HeatQZip sale. Links in the description and comments of today's video. Get a QZip, I rock. The coaching staff rocks. 50% off. chatsports.com/HeatQZip sale. This is the Kevin Durant trade package I have consistently showed on our show. Andrew Wiggins, Hawkes, Duncan Robinson, and 2 first-round picks. The 20th pick this year from Golden State, and then a future first-round pick in 2030 that's top 10 protected. I think this is as good as I'm willing to offer, man. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I love KD. Maybe people will say I'm crazy. You need to offer more. But where the Heat are in terms of their roster construction, that is just the best I can offer without crippling future moves and making it a 2-year window where you probably can't even reach that high. Like, I would be willing to maybe swap out Jaime Jaquez Jr. for Nikola Jovic. I think Jovic is a better player, a better asset long-term. But due to him being contract extension eligible in the next couple years, maybe you want to get rid of him rather than pay him, and you just keep Jaquez as more of an experienced wing off the bench. But listen, that's my offer. I'm not offering Kel'el Ware for KD. I'm just not doing it, because I think Ware showed enough this year in terms of his potential, his growth as a front court partner with Adebayo to warrant him staying. Now, if you're talking like a Giannis trade or an unbelievable All-NBA, All-Star level player that's still under the age of 30, yeah, I'll trade Ware, no questions about it. But for a 37-year-old, it's a little bit of a question in terms of their 2 first-round picks. I'll offer pick swaps alongside it as well, but that's as high as I'm going for Kevin Durant. And unfortunately, that might not be good enough, because if you're the San Antonio Spurs and Kevin Durant tells you, or to me, let's just rephrase that. If you're the Phoenix Suns And Kevin Durant says, I'm cool being traded to Miami or San Antonio. You choose what package you like better. And then the Spurs come in with a combination of Vassell, salary, 2 first-rounders, one being in the lottery this year at 14th overall. Well, then you're obviously taking that. Or if the Spurs come up and offer, hey, we'll give you Stephon Castle, Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson, and 1 first, but you get the rookie of the year who showed a lot of promise as a ball handler, as a finisher, as an off-ball defensive menace as well. Like, you're taking that. Like, I don't know how you are packed or like topping what the Spurs can offer unless San Antonio just like backs out. Like, that's the only way the Heat could somehow win a battle between them and San Antonio for Kevin Durant. Now, maybe the one thing that is in your benefit here is that KD prefers Miami. And why would he prefer Miami over San Antonio? Well, if he cares about winning, which there's questions about if that's actually true. He's consistently said that all he cares about is getting buckets and hooping and making money. He said something else, too. I'm not going to say that. But what if he preferred to play in the weaker Eastern Conference over the West? Like, the West would be a gauntlet. And even if he joins Wemby and Fox, like, that team probably is like a 4 or 5 seed at absolute best, unless Wembanyama takes that step where he's an MVP level guy now. In the East, like Hero, Bam, KD, with Tatum being out for most of next season, Giannis potentially being on the move, plus Milwaukee's being a bad roster in general, you're talking about a Heat team that if they acquired KD could easily compete in that East alongside New York, Indiana, Detroit, Cleveland. It would be interesting, especially with Eric Spoelstra at the helm. So maybe that's something going in your favor of him rather playing in the weaker Eastern Conference. But if you're the Spurs, you can just say, yeah, we'll just pair you up with 2 of the best young guys in the NBA, and we have a better package for Phoenix anyway. So let me know, who is the more likely Kevin Durant team? Is it San Antonio or is it Miami? Are you a optimistic Heat fan that says the Heat, type MIA. If you're a pessimist like myself, type the SAS. Now, quickly before we end today's show, if the Heat did miss out on Kevin Durant, where could they go if they acquired someone else on the veteran trade market? Well, I think these are the 3 most likely guys. We talked about DeRozan earlier this week. The Heat are the favorites on Bovada to land DeRozan. We've talked about Ja Morant and Trae Young at nauseum. I'm not going to go in depth here, but just showcasing some other options if the Heat do not go for KD, because I truly do believe that is Pat Riley's number 1 option for this offseason in terms of acquiring an all-star level player. And I'll kind of contradict this as well here. As much as I could potentially want a good veteran presence to join Bam and Hero, if the Heat miss out on KD, I could be tossed in and intrigued with Ja Morant. I'd rather go full rebuild. Now, what does full rebuild mean? Does it mean trading Tyler Hero? Something Miami wouldn't do. Does it mean trading Bam? Maybe, but it's something Miami wouldn't do. Like, I wish the Heat would contemplate tearing it down. I would, because do the Heat believe Hero and Bam could be 2 of your 3 best players on a title team? Maybe. I don't know. Like, if you want that scenario to come to fruition, that number 1 option's got to be a top 5 player in the league. Like, that's where we're at here. And are you acquiring a top 5 player in the league? No. Like, Giannis could be available, yeah, but you'd also have to package one of Hero or Bam. So then it leaves you kind of in a spot where you're not able to really contend at a serious level. You're in a tough spot. The best way to go into a finals contending mode over the next 3 or 4 years, in my opinion, is you got to tear it down. You got to go to the tank method. And unfortunately, I know the Heat won't do that. And you see teams like Washington and Utah not be able to build a team through tank. But all it takes is 1 lottery luck. And the next thing you know, you're back in contention. Look at Detroit. After a while, they finally struck gold with Cade Cunningham. They built out a solid roster, and now they're going to be competing at the top of the East for the next probably decade. All right, I'll do it for today's show. Appreciate everybody watching. If you have not already, hit that sub button for daily Heat content. We're talking news, draft rumors, and everything in between, so join the channel today.